Okay, we'll call March 15, 2022 meeting to order. Everybody come to order. I'll ask you to stand and join Councilman Mount as he leads us in the prayer and the pledge of allegiance.
May we pray. Our loving Father, we know that you are a loving Father by the good that you bestow upon each of us. We hope and pray that we as individuals can live up to what is expected of us. We pray for all people in government with the hope that we can make a difference. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. It seems early in the month we'll be having our second meeting, but this is the second meeting of the month. Remind everyone that we'll be meeting first and third Tuesdays of each month. Workshop starting around 5:30, and the meeting here, the actual meeting here around 6 or a little thereafter, depending on when we get finished with our upstairs work. Always glad to have guests come and join us and participate and be part of what we're doing here to make Andalusia a better place to live and raise a family and retire. Council members, you have before you the minutes of our March 1st meeting for consideration.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the March 1st, 2022 meeting as presented.
All right, you heard the motion. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Have a second from Councilman Griffin. Any further discussion, questions, or comments concerning the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please indicate by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, the same. And the minutes are approved. And I thank you for that. Our first item of new business is some board appointments. We have two vacancies on the Recreation Board. And we have two individuals who have applied to serve in those positions. And both of them are excellent individuals. The first one is Steve Bozeman. Steve would be filling his old position that he just grew out of recently. Steve has been a member of the Recreation Board for many years and has a lot of experience and is a big help to our recreation program. The other one, of course, is Tommy Agee. We all know who Tommy is and certainly know his background in recreation is top notch. And he is feeling so much better now and doing well and is asked to be allowed to serve as a member of that board. And I would recommend both of these individuals be appointed if you so approve.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to the board for recommitment for Tommy Agee and Steve Bozeman.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Griffin. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
A second by Mr. Nix. Any further discussion, questions, or comments concerning these appointments? Hearing none, then all in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye. Aye. Any opposed? I think that was unanimous. In fact, I know it was. So thank you for that. Our next item to take up is a resolution accepting some police equipment bid. If you remember, we just purchased 5 new vehicles for the police department. Those vehicles, of course, have to be outfitted with police equipment, and they don't come from the manufacturer dressed up. We have to dress them up after they get here. That includes radios and lights and all the equipment that you have to put on a police car. And the bids that we got, we got 3 bids, and the low bid was from a firm from here in Andalusia, here in Covenant County. From S&P Communications in the amount of $33,835.05, and for the cameras, $12,544.95, amounting to a total of $46,380. And I recommend to you that you approve that. That money would come from our capital account.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2022-10, accepting the bids on the 2 items of equipment to outfit our 5 new police cars. Money coming from contingency, from capital.
Yes. All right, you heard Mr. Powell's motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Mr. Wells. Any further discussion, questions, or comments concerning this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the resolution, please indicate by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. And that too is passed, and I thank you for that. This next item is a historic item, in my opinion, historic. It's a request from our city clerk and administrator to transfer $4 million from our general fund to our capital account. By doing this, we will still have remaining in our general fund about $2.5 million. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And this amount of cash on hand for the city of Andalusia puts us in the best financial condition in the history of this city. A lot of people will do some credit for this, but primarily our employees who work so hard to stretch every dollar that they can to get the most from it. And by the members of this council and our department heads work really hard to give our citizens the biggest bang for their buck. So we stand in a very, very strong position, and with this transfer, it's just an acknowledgement of that really. We're able to put this money into a capital account that we can use later on for better serve our city. So I would recommend that you adopt resolution number 2022-16, transferring $4 million from the general fund to the capital account.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion on that, that we accept resolution 2022-16, transferring the city funds from the general fund to the capital fund for the purpose of meeting our financial needs of the city.
All right, you heard the motion by Mr. Wells. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Powell. Any further discussion, questions, or comments concerning this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the resolution as presented, please indicate by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I thank you for that. Next item is one that we are going to declare some property surplus in the city. This is located out at our industrial park, and it is where we have had a building out there for several years. It's been used by lessees and tenants before for different businesses. Several years, 2 or 3 years ago, Triple H Specialty Company leased it from the city to carry on some of their business out at the industrial park. And they are in need now of buying the building, or they want to purchase the building from the city. In the lease contract that we had with them, that they entered into several years ago, if they had an option to exercise this option to purchase, and with respect to that, the building price was set at $300,000, and they were to be given credit against that $300,000 if they exercised their option for the lease payments that they had made to us through this period of time against the purchase price. So I recommend to you that we do this, but to do it, of course, we have to declare that property disposable from the city and not needed. And that's what ordinance number 2022-02 does. Now, with respect to ordinances, we generally don't pass them on their first reading. We usually have a first reading, and then we wait till the next council meeting or maybe thereafter to pass the ordinance. But there's really no issue about this. We're under contract to do this already when we approved the lease several years ago. So we can do it tonight by suspension of the rule, which means that we have to vote by oral vote individually and unanimously to suspend the rule. After suspension of the rule, we'll ask for any comments on it, and then we can vote on this item. So, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Nix.
Yes.
Councilmember Mount.
Yes.
Councilmember Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Powell.
Yes.
Okay, the rules are suspended, meaning that we stand now in a state of anarchy. So, we got to get through it real quick. Does anyone have any comments or any questions about what we're doing here? And that includes anyone out in the audience that wants to speak about it, or ask a question. Okay, hearing no questions or comments, we are now free to act on the resolution itself. So I recommend to you that we adopt the resolution to declare this property surplus so that we can transfer it under our lease to Triple H upon their payment of the balance of the purchase price.
Mr. Mayor, I move for approval of ordinance number 2022-02, declaring Triple H building surplus for the full state of reason.
Okay, you heard the motion by Mr. Nix. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Wells. Now, again, is there any further discussion, questions, or comments from the council concerning this?
Mayor, was that a spec building that the city built
Yes,
at one time?
years ago.
You know, there was a fabrication
Right,
business in there for a long time.
right.
You know, this is the last spec building that we have out there.
It is.
And so that's been a good investment, I guess, for the city anyway.
Yes, it's sat vacant for a little while, but not very long. It's been pretty much occupied since it was constructed. All right, anything else? Then all in,
I'd like to say,
sure.
I'm here is congratulate the employees that we have here. And we have good citizens that are supporting us, obviously, in the city with purchases, and people from outside the city are seeing Andalusia as a place to go and be entertained or eat or just be friends or live. And it's a great thing. I'm proud to be a part of the city council, members up here, and the employees that we have at work. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wells. I agree. Andalusia is a special place. And if you don't believe it, just ask people who come here from other parts of the world and ask them what they think about our town.
I agree.
Okay, we'll take a vote now on this resolution 2022-16. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I thank you for that unanimous vote. All right. Next item is a proposal from CDG Engineers for a Heritage Park project. Takes a little explanation here about this. As everyone knows, we've been talking about building a new park in downtown Andalusia, and we've been calling it Heritage Park. It may not end up being called that, it may be called something else, but for the purposes of what we're doing now, we're calling it Heritage Park. We engaged Concordia architectural firm out of New Orleans several years ago, really, to start working on us with a kind of a long-range plan on redoing and bringing Andalusia, particularly the central portion of the city, back to life. And we have come a long, long ways. Last month, Concordia was in town, and they presented a kind of a first draft of what the park would look like. They had a video, a moving video that you could take you through what their drawing is. But they're architects. They design stuff, and there's some buildings in the park and other structures that they will design, but you also need engineering firm to work with them on a project like this. And so they suggested, they had talked with Concordia, had talked with CDG, and had suggested that we engage CDG engineering firm, of course, which is an Andalusia firm, engineering firm, to work with them on this project. And what I'm going to ask you to vote on right now is to approve what Concordia told us at that meeting last month. This is the next thing we need to do to move towards getting construction started on our park. And that is to engage an engineering firm to work with them, Concordia, in implementing the plans, coming up with the final plans, and then doing the engineering work on the design of the park and in oversee of the construction of the park. So that's what we'll be doing tonight. The cost for that, Mr. Clerk, I forgot where it is.
$81,300.
$81,300. That money would come from our capital account. We just put $4 million in, by the way. That money would come from capital because this is a capital investment. So I would recommend to you that we do that and engage the services of CDG engineering firm to work with Concordia on what I just said.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the proposal by CDG Engineering to do the study, the development, architectural services of the Heritage Park project, total of $81,300.
Okay, you heard the motion by Mr. Powell. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Mr. Mount. Any further discussion, questions, or comments from the council? Hearing none, then all in favor of approving this, please indicate by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, the same sign. And that is adopted and approved. Thank you for that. That is all of the official business that we have tonight. I'd like to make a comment about a couple of men who just recently passed away that I've worked with through my career as an attorney and also as mayor. But Bill Shaw over in Opp, a fine man. I came back here, came home in 1974 to begin to practice law. And Bill was a young deputy sheriff in the county sheriff's department. And he and I just kind of hit it off. And he's always been a close friend and a real solid person. If Bill told you it was 3 o'clock, it was 3 o'clock. He told you tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't care what the calendar said, that's the kind of guy he was. And then Mr. Anderson, who was the former chief deputy at the sheriff's department and then law enforcement here as well, also passed away within the past few days. And he will be, I think his funeral is tomorrow as well. Two good men who worked hard and given a lot back to our community in the way of law enforcement, put their lives on the line sometimes. In fact, Bill was actually shot during that period of time. Took a serious leg injury. He got over it, but he might not have because it was mighty close. But anyway, I just wanted to mention them because they're good men. Anything else to come? Thank you. Thank you. Anything else to come before the council tonight? All right, hearing nothing, we'll stand adjourned.